How do you program RC electronic speed controllers? If you are curious about how to program your RC electronic speed controller, you are in the right place. Programming your electronic speed controller, or ESC, is essential for ensuring your RC vehicle performs at its best. Let's break down the steps to get you started. First, you need to calibrate the throttle range. This step is crucial when using a new ESC or switching transmitters. Begin by turning on your transmitter and moving the throttle stick to the maximum position. Next, power on the ESC by connecting the battery. You will hear a series of beeps indicating that the ESC recognizes the maximum throttle. Then, move the throttle stick to the minimum position. The ESC will confirm the calibration with another series of beeps. Finally, power off the ESC to save these settings. This process aligns the SE's throttle endpoints with your transmitter, ensuring smooth motor response. Next, let's talk about programming methods. Depending on your ESC model, you might have several options. One common method is using the transmitter itself. This involves using throttle stick movements and listening to beep codes. While this method works, it can be slower and less intuitive. Alternatively, you can use a programming card. This device plugs into the ESC and allows you to select settings easily. It is usually faster and more straightforward. Some advanced SCS even allow programming through a dedicated programming box or computer software via a USB interface. After calibration, you can adjust various parameters to customize the SE's behavior. For example, you can modify brake settings to enable or disable braking and adjust the brake strength. You can also change the throttle response curve to make the motor respond differently to your throttle input. Additionally, you can set reverse settings to enable reverse mode and determine the reverse throttle percentage. Another important aspect is the battery type and cutoff voltage. You will want to set the battery chemistry, whether it is nickel metal hydride or lithium polymer, and establish a low-voltage cutoff to protect your battery. You can also adjust the timing and motor type settings based on whether your motor is brushed or brushless. Lastly, you can choose the start-up mode, deciding between smooth or instant throttle engagement. If you are programming using the transmitter, here is a simple procedure to follow. First, turn on the transmitter and set the throttle to full. Then, power on the ESC and wait for the beep signals indicating it has entered programming mode. Follow the beep codes to move the throttle stick to different positions as instructed. Confirm your selections by holding the throttle at neutral or full as required. The ESC will emit confirmation beeps when programming is complete. Here are a few practical tips to keep in mind. Always perform throttle range calibration when changing transmitters or receivers to avoid erratic motor behavior. If you have a programming card, use it to simplify setting changes. Pay close attention to the beep codes during programming, as they provide feedback on what the ESC is doing. Lastly, double-check your wiring and insulation before powering the ESC to prevent shorts or damage. For beginners, it is best to keep settings at default except for throttle calibration until you become familiar with how each parameter affects performance. By programming your ESC correctly, you ensure that your RC toy runs smoothly and responds predictably, enhancing your overall experience.